You're alive, and may we all be alive forever. Welcome, everybody, to the Halachah class for today. I'm going to pass the computer right over to Michael. I contact everybody about the class, so you gotta go get my phone from the other room. Anyway, enjoy the class, and we'll be back. I have part. You got it, husband? Okay.
Yes. Good evening and good Rosh Chodesh to everyone. We're very glad to be able
Give me
to.
the phone until
Excuse me 1 second.
you took it off the speaker.
It's on the speaker. Yeah, you just press speaker if you want to shut off the speaker. You
Well,
just
no, I don't
touch.
want to shut it off if you made it low enough that the whole class
Well,
doesn't hear. Okay, continue on with the class, Michael.
okay. Wishing you a good Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the new month, and perhaps you're puzzled about the significance of Rosh Chodesh. We do speak about it briefly each time that it occurs. Basically, certain months have a special major holiday in them. The month of Tammuz has several important days. Some are happy days, and some are what you might call very serious days. This the beginning of the 3 weeks of the 17th day of Tammuz, which we'll speak about as we get closer to that. But I wanted us to appreciate the concept of Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the month. First of all, we seem to observe it in some way, and we seem to celebrate it in some ways. I wanted to talk about that. This is the Halachah class, Thursday night Halachah class, in which we learn the significance of many of the wonderful principles of Judaism. Sometimes we learn things we never heard of before. Last week we were studying one of the blessings of the Amidah. We may get to that tonight too. The Amidah, of course, the prayer, the special prayer in each service that we fulfill, whether we be in the synagogue or at home. And there actually is a special added paragraph for Rosh Chodesh, as there's a special added paragraph for the various holidays. Passover, it was added, it's called Yalav. We have it for Shavuos, we have it for Sukkos as well. And if a holiday comes out on the Sabbath, we add it to the Sabbath prayers as well. So it is a holiday. Is it a rabbinic holiday? Hanukkah is a rabbinical holiday. It was declared by the rabbis after the great miracle in which the candelabra, which only had enough oil to last for one night, lasted for 8 days till they could prepare pure olive oil to continue. And we have mentioned, as we always do by Hanukkah, that lighting the candelabra is done all year, not just the week of Hanukkah. It's one of the services in the Holy Temple. So it was of primary importance to be able to continue that. And that was enough for the rabbis to declare a special holiday, the holiday of Hanukkah, for 8 days. What about Purim? Is Purim a rabbinic holiday, or is it from the Bible itself? Purim is also a rabbinical holiday, occurring in between the destruction of the first temple and the building of the second temple. Purim also was declared by the rabbis because of the terrible decree of Haman, the Khomeini of his day. This Khomeini today too. I don't understand why they don't feel that a regime change is absolutely necessary. If you don't change the regime, their ideas are exactly the same as before, no matter how much you I'm sorry, I can't talk straight tonight. As much as you blast them, and as much as you bomb them, and whatever you do to them, they don't care. They don't care who gets killed or whatever. They continue their philosophy, which is to destroy God for the Jewish people and also anyone else who doesn't go right along with them. They don't change. They haven't changed. Do you realize today they're declaring victory that Iran won after such a clobbering by both Israel and the United States? They're saying that they won. It's all lies so that their people won't throw them out of business, which they only should do. They only should overthrow such a wicked regime, an incredibly wicked regime. They declare themselves the victors. they won, and that the fact that there's this three enormous holes in their country from an incredible attack upon them, that there were thousands of Israeli flights bombing out all of their installations, cutting off their heads, the heads of their um, nuclear program, the heads of their military program, etc. So they won. To them, they call this winning, just to fool their people. Aren't fooled. At any rate, what happened in the story of Purim, as you well know, is that the Haman of those days, this happens in every generation, this Khomeini is again saying death to you know whom and death to you know whom. Those two countries, as you know, I don't even mention them. I don't even want to mention what they say. And they had people chanting it with a loud voice. This is after their clobbering, to fool them, pull the wool over their eyes into thinking that everything is just fine, just as it was before. So we're dealing with some very vicious and horrible enemies. Yet I'm telling you that the holiday of Hanukkah is a rabbinical holiday. Our Holy Torah teaches us, listen to the rabbis. When they make a declaration, they do this. They're saintly people. They know what the Almighty wants. There are hints to the things that they tell us to do. There's a hint for Hanukkah. There's a hint for Purim. In the Torah itself, in the 5 books of Moses itself, I'm telling you. There are hints for those 2 holidays, and the rabbis took those hints and understood those hints. I asked, is Rosh Chodesh also a rabbinical holiday? And how do we observe it? And is it a strict holiday or non-strict holiday? Hanukkah seems to be a holiday that's not too strict. We light the candles. We celebrate in different ways, special prayers, of course. Purim, we read the Megillah. We have a special scroll that we read on Purim, etc. But it's not too strict of a day that you're not allowed to do any work. You should avoid it. You're supposed to leave these things, at least the candles are lighting for Hanukkah, and on Purim, the day of Purim itself. There are ways to show that we observe it, but it's not a day when it's forbidden, absolutely forbidden to do work. Sabbath, Shabbos is coming up. We're not allowed to do work on Shabbos. We most recently celebrated the last major holiday, was the holiday Shavuos, when we received the Torah, a 2-day holiday year outside of Israel. In Israel, it's 1 day. And it's a day in which we are told by the Torah not to do work. Is Rosh Chodesh in that category? Rosh Chodesh is a biblical holiday. It is not as strict as the other holidays are, and therefore we make adjustments, as a matter of fact, not only in our observance of it, but also with regard to the song of praise. The Halachah. I want to take just a moment to show you how Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the month, is a biblical holiday. And I'm reading to you now from, of all places, from the afternoon service on Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is also a Rosh Chodesh too, but because it's the head of the year, that sort of supersedes the fact that it's also the head of the first month, Tishrei. Uviyom Simchaschem, and on the day of your happiness, Uvamoadechem, and at your appointed holidays like Passover, Shavuos, Sukkot, Tabernacles, Uvrosh Chodshechem, Rosh Chodshechem. This is listed by our Holy Torah as also a biblical holiday, the beginnings of your months. Uskatim b'chatzotzros, you shall blow the silver trumpets. Just as on these other holidays, there were silver trumpets that were blown by the priest, by the Kohanim, as part of the great celebration and the sanctity of the day. Rosh Chodesh is a biblical holiday, and therefore we observe it and show that it's different. It's not strict like Passover, or certainly not like the Sabbath and like Shavuos and Sukkot. It's not strict like them. Work can be done. However, it's an important day of forgiveness. Let me take another excerpt from our prayers today. We read the Torah with a portion that mentions Rosh Hashem Takrivu Olol Hashem. On Rosh Chodesh, just as on the Sabbath, just as on these major holidays, just as on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, an additional offering is brought at the Holy Temple. It's called Musaf. Every day, 365 days a year, be it a weekday or Shabbos, there's a morning regular offering and there's an afternoon regular offering. Now we replace them temporarily while we wait for Mashiach with the morning service, Shacharis, and Mincha service, the afternoon service. But they are representing the morning offering in the Holy Temple 365 days a year, and the afternoon offering as well. On a day that is special, like Shabbos, which is a strict day, yes, it is a strict day, there's a Mosif offering, there's an additional offering. Besides the regular morning and afternoon offering, there's an offering especially for Shabbos. On Passover, there's an offering each day. In addition to the morning offering, there was an there was an additional offering, and also the afternoon offering. Same thing with Shavuot, same thing with Sukkot, that these days have a special offering. They are strict holidays, they are major holidays. Fish is an important biblical holiday as well. And on this morning and tomorrow morning as well, this time Rosh Chodesh is 2 days. Sometimes it's one, sometimes two. It's a rather complicated reason. I don't go into it tonight. But at any rate, the Torah will be ready again tomorrow morning because it's Rosh Chodesh, the first day of the new month. Tomorrow is going to be the first day of Tammuz. And the biblical Torah reading is Uvrashik Takotshechem. On the beginnings of your months, Takrivu Olol Hashem. You shall offer an additional special offering for Rosh Chodesh. So you see, it's a very significant day. It happens to be especially significant for this reason too. You know that on the beginning of the year, Rosh Hashanah, we mentioned this many, many times, we are judged for the entire year. And God blesses us on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur with all the needs of the whole year, for the whole year. Each month at Rosh Chodesh, how much of that blessing we're going to get for that month will be determined on Rosh Chodesh. So therefore, it has a very, very special significance. And the prayers are special. You can understand why there are special prayers that day too. We need the blessing that was already decided on for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the beginning of the year. We need that this month. We need that, of course, each month. The various, we need what we need to sustain ourselves. We need health. We need protection. We need Israel to be once and for all redeemed. The Jewish people all over the world. We need the country of Israel to be free from horrible war and horrible missiles and horrible loss of life. All these terrible things that have been going on. Now's the time to pray for it. Now's the time to ask the Almighty make this month different. And in this month, there's the fast day commemorating the beginning of the siege of Jerusalem in the 3 weeks, which we speak about. I'm hoping and praying we're not going to have to fast this coming month on the 17th of Tammuz. These fast days, and 3 weeks later, the 9th of Av, the saddest day of the year, are going to be holidays when the Mashiach comes. And to make you feel better, they were holidays. After the first temple was destroyed, it was a period of 70 years until the next temple was built. When the next temple was built, the second holy temple, these fast days were holidays. We're praying that this will happen yet again. The fact that it happened once already makes us feel better. This actually took place. God willing, it should take place again. So Rosh Chodesh is biblical. It's from the Torah itself. It's mentioned in several passages. It has a special additional offering like the Sabbath does, like the other major holidays do as well. Purim does not have an additional offering. Hanukkah, except for when it comes out on Shabbos, and there's a Rosh Chodesh in Hanukkah too, then it has an additional offering. But on one of the regular days of Hanukkah, there's no additional offering. So I'm trying to show you that there's great significance behind this day, and it's a day of special prayer. Let me read to you a little bit from the additional prayer that we will say while we're waiting for the Mashiach to come, and we'll be able to offer the additional offering in the temple. That in the meantime, we recite an additional Shemona Esrei, an additional Amida, an additional service, a Musaf service for Rosh Chodesh. So I just want to give you an idea of what that prayer starts like. Rosh Chodeshim, this is from the Amida, additional Amida, the additional prayer for Rosh Chodesh. We recited it this morning, we recited tomorrow too. Rosh Chodeshim, heads of the months, L'al Chonasata, you, God, gave to your people. Zman Kaporah, is a time of forgiveness mention that. It's a time of forgiveness for all of your generations. When they were able to offer wonderful offerings that you wanted, God, special offerings that atone for them. Zikaron lechulam yeh, a remembrance for all Vayeti, Ushuas Nafsham. Interesting. Ushuas Nafsham Yatsone. Rosh Chodesh, you and I are in. This is a day of salvation for their souls and lives from the hand of the enemy. That's unique to this day, which is Rosh Chodesh Day, and tomorrow as well. A time of forgiveness and a time of salvation from the enemy. Boy, do we need salvation from the enemy. I mentioned already, this regime, Israel says that the United States says that we're not looking to change the regime. How can you not look to change the regime? How can you not look to change it? The regime has the exact same plans, and they joke over and fake over the destruction that they've had. And they say, in a few weeks, we'll be back to making atomic bombs. They're not even ashamed to say it whatsoever. No matter what President Trump says, yes, he's a very great man. To actually stop the guns from shooting and the jets from flying and the missiles from destroying, that's a massive accomplishment. And he must be very dear in God's eyes, not only for the fact that God saved him several times from being killed, but for the fact that he devotes himself not only to help his own country, but to stop killing all over the world. This bothers him terribly. He was in Ukraine, and I don't know if I can say it even over the computer here. He was describing those who were eliminated, if I may use that. I'm trying to clean it up a little for you. He's seeing bodies all over the place and all kinds of body parts all over the place. You'll excuse me and forgive me. He takes this to heart. You of us are horrified by it too. He takes it to heart and is doing whatever he can to stop the bloodshed, He knows you're dealing with crazy people with crazy philosophies and egotists like Putin and others and the Khomeini and all these other wicked people in the world who cause thousands to lose their lives because of their craziness. Thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe more. So we see great significance in this day that you and I are observing right now, Rosh Chodesh, as we learn about it. That helps us celebrate it too, in addition to that too. One of the things that we add to the services is the Hallel. Hallel is a beautiful song of praise to God. I'll just take a few excerpts from it to show you. This is recited on all the holidays and on Rosh Chodesh as well, with this change. The other holidays, or at least part of the holiday, the entire song is chanted in synagogue. It's a very beautiful song of praise to God. I just do some parts for you, give you a little idea. And on Rosh Chodesh, because it's not a full holiday like the others, it is a holiday, and it's in the Torah, but it's not a full holiday because work is not forbidden. When a holiday is that strict that work is forbidden on that day, that includes all the other holidays such as Hanukkah, Purim, which you're allowed to do work, but they are days in which work is limited, etc. On Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot, work is absolutely forbidden. So on days when work is absolutely forbidden, we recite the Hallel. Let me give you just a little feeling for it. Halukah, Halu Abdei Hashem. Servants of God, praise God. Halu Eshem Hashem. Praise the name of God. Yishem Hashem Baruch. May the name of God be blessed. Mi'atov Yadolom. From now until forever. Mi Mizrach Shemesh Ad Mavo. From the time that the sun rises in the east until it goes down in the west, Muhulo Shem Hashem. Is God's name praised. All over the world, there are responsible people who are praising God. Thank you, I woke up this morning. Thank you, I have what to eat. Thank you, I have a house to live in, etc. All over the world, God's name is praised. And we live at different times. We sleep at different times. We work at different times. So, Mimizr Shemesh Ad Mavo, all over the world, from sunrise to sunset, somewhere, and in the evenings too. There are some beautiful, beautiful phrases. I'm just taking a few for you. Hamishpili leros b'shamayim v'ha'aretz. God lowers himself. He cares about heaven and earth. Mikimi me offerdo. A poor person is down in the dust, down in the dumps, as we say in English, and I don't mean it humorously. Mikimi, he raises them up. He says, Mi ashpos, from the filth and dirt, Urim Ivyon. God lifts up the poverty-stricken person. Lahoshivi imnidivim imnidiveyamo, and these people are raised up to high station. It says Yisrael and Mishram, there's a special paragraph. In fact, this is called Halal Mitzrayim, this one that we recite. It says Yisrael and Mishram, Beis Yaakov Am Loes, when the Jewish people departed from Egypt. This is all part of the song of Halal to God. The house of Jacob, which was redeemed from a foreign nation. So Yehuda Lekocho, Judah was for God's sanctification. Yisrael Mamshalosa, the Jewish people are ruled by God's sovereignty. Hayom Roa Bayonos, the splitting of the sea. The sea saw the Jewish people and it fled. Hayade Nisa La'ocha. The splitting of the sea is when we came out from Egypt. 40 years later, when we had to cross the Jordan River to get into our own country, Israel, you know where Jordan is, and you know where the Jordan River is, right there. The Jordan River. By the way, Jordan was also part of Israel too. It will be again as well. It was actually part of our land as well, not the originally, but we had to. They wouldn't let us in, so we had to fight our way in and take over that land too. This is way, way back, of course. So the Jordan River stopped flowing. The Jordan River stopped. I don't know if you've been to Israel. See, I saw the Jordan River. Didn't get a great look at it, but I drove down. My son-in-law, who took me to Israel, was driving all the way down from the north of Israel to Jerusalem, which is where we were staying, and we followed along the way the Jordan River, right along its side. The Jordan River stopped flowing and was actually backing up into a great wall of water as the Jewish people crossed on the other side and crossed to the other side safely with the Holy Ark, So this song of praise of God is very magnificent and beautiful. Hashem Zecharonu, God has remembered us. Yivorech, he will bless. Yivorech es Beis Israel. God will bless the house of Israel. Yivorech es Beis Aaron. God will bless the house of Aaron, the priests. Yivorech Yirei Hashem. Those who fear God will bless God. Aktanim imagdolim. Those of small stature and those of big nature. Yosef Hashem Aleichem. May God increase upon you. Aleichem el b'nechem, upon you and your children. Baruchim Hashem Lashem. You're blessed by God. Osei Shemayim va'aretz, who makes heaven and earth. Now, this is a song, as you see, is quite a few paragraphs. 2 paragraphs are omitted on Rosh Chodesh to show that it's not a full holiday. It is a holiday, as I've been explaining all evening, but it's not a strict holiday like the other ones are. It has special offerings in the Holy Temple mentioned. We see already special prayers, this edition of the Halal, and there's another one that's added in the Shemona Esrei, too, that we'll go through fairly soon, too. But what you see so far already is this is a special day. It's a day of remembrance. It's a day of forgiveness. And it's a day when God saves us from Sonei, from those who hate us. There are different words in Hebrew that mean enemy. Oyev is a common one. Sonei is those who hate us. And those horrible, horrible Arabs, these Muslims, terrorists, not all of them, of course not all of them, but these Amalekite terrorist Arabs, Muslims, in the name of their false religion that they made up, he made up a religion of killing and loss of life. That's what they worship, is everything. No matter who gets killed, they're a martyr anyway. It doesn't matter. They couldn't kill less. I heard this week, to my horror, that when they are dealing with a possible minefield that the Jewish people may have put out there that they're afraid of whatever, what do? They send their children to walk through the minefield and be blasted to death.
Oh my God.
So they know that they can't go there. You believe that? Can you understand it? Can you believe that? This is how the loss of life, the lack of life, the opposite of life is their religion, the foolishness, idiocy.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. So when you're dealing with a regime that believes in that, You think they're going to change? They couldn't care less. No matter what you do to them, it's that way. There's one final end that's going to come to them. As you can see, with all the bombs and all the jets and all the B-2 bombers and enormous bombs that weigh 30,000 tons apiece, whatever the weight is, etc., etc. There's only one solution. God himself sent the Mashiach. And that's a permanent and a complete and total solution. Anything we do is only temporary. It's for the moments, as we can see. As thorough as we think we can be with a clean sweep, not with whom you're dealing. So let's take advantage of this day especially and bring about, as much as we can, the salvation, the wonderful salvation of this day. Well, I must not forget to mention this. I did quickly the other day, but maybe we can dwell on it a little bit more. Sometimes people feel that women are not given the proper honor and respect in Judaism. False. It's totally and completely false. The Jewish woman is excused from many commandments because, in general, a Jewish woman, not everybody, of course, not every girl becomes a wife and a mother. Not everybody does, of course. But on the whole and in general, the Jewish woman has an enormous task at her hand. She has to run her household and make her household into a home. Not just a building where people live, but into a home. The Jewish woman must make her home into a place where God would want to come and visit and reside. To make an apartment for the Almighty, so to speak, to make a wonderful dwelling place for the Almighty. The man has his various commandments. He goes to synagogue. He has to study the Torah. He puts on the phylacteries, that's those black boxes, and the prayer shawl, and many commandments that have to do with time, shaking the rule on sukkahs, living in the sukkah. There are exceptions for many of these commandments that women have to fulfill them as well. When they're excused, it's not God because they're any less. It's because God recognizes the fact that they have an enormous job to fulfill, which it is. A responsible wife and mother has an enormous responsibility to see to it that her household is kosher, that it's clean spiritually as well as physically, that it's a place of prayer, a place of Torah study, a place where God will feel welcome, a place where strangers are welcome to come in and enjoy your hospitality, in which they can see the beauty and wonderful principles of Judaism. Many wonderful things to be done. Raising the kids, what a job. It's not just changing diapers. I did that too. Don't think I was excused. I changed plenty of diapers in my time too. You have to train the children. They're not automatically trained when they're born. They need to be trained from early on to be people who are not self-centered, which as a baby and as a small child, the whole world revolves around them. They have to be taught that somebody else in the world besides them, and that their job is, their purpose is to do for others, and to care about others, starting with your own brothers and sisters and your parents, and going on further to those who are others who are not related to you, to bring kindness and goodness into the world, and not to be all me. So we see that the Jewish woman has an enormous task at hand. She has to participate in the community, reach other Jewish women, teach other Jewish women to follow the wonderful ways of the Torah, practice the Torah in her own home, invite others to share it with her, to see to it that the kids behave properly. The biggest influence in the house is not the father. They might have a little fear of the father and hopefully a lot of love for the father. The biggest influence is their mother. Throughout life, their mother. She is the greatest influence over them and therefore the greatest responsibility. Well, I try to bring out that the Jewish woman is an honored queen in the eyes of the Torah, and it should not be misunderstood by what she's excused from. In the synagogue, because men and women have a tendency to be attracted to each other, in the Orthodox synagogue, way going back, even the time of the Holy Temple, there was a balcony. Did you know that? It was a balcony for the women, and the men were down below. Except for once a year, when there were special festivities, the men had to go up and the women were down below. So things were changed, etc., etc. At any rate, if I may bring out properly that this principle of the honor that is really given in special prestige to the Jewish woman is reflected on this very day of Rosh Chodesh. On this day of Rosh Chodesh, the women are excused, and we should see to it that they really are excused by taking over some of their heavy tasks. They're excused from work, especially heavy work. It's a special holiday for them, a special holiday for the Jewish woman. Why? Going way back when the Jewish people made a terrible mistake of the golden calf, the men approached the women and said, "We want a new false god. We need a new leader. And Aaron, the high priest, he's going to make it for us. He told us to go get your golden earrings and your golden nose rings and bracelets and necklaces, all your fancy jewelry. We're going to put this into a melting pot, melt it and make it into a nice, beautiful golden calf. You're ready to probably ready to vomit just to hear that. Make you want to vomit. The Jewish women and the children also, nothing doing. We're not giving up our jewelry for such a horrible purpose. So what the men do? They still insisted. That shows you the difference between the Jewish man and Jewish woman. The women took the men took their own jewelry. They took their own jewelry and they gave it to Aaron and the Satan, the troublemaking angel, saw to it that it became a golden calf. The women refused. They refused. When it came later to when after Moses begged for our lives and convinced the Almighty not to destroy us, the Almighty told them, "Build for me a portable holy temple in the wilderness. It's a building that can be put together, taken apart, and loaded on wheels or carried on shoulders like the Holy Ark. And everyone should donate of their gold, their silver, their brass, wonderful fabrics, special wood, all and jewels, beautiful, wonderful jewels, etc. This is all going to be used to make a portable holy temple and the special uniforms for the high priest and for the regular priests as well." Well, when it came to that, the women showed enormous enthusiasm. They beat everybody out. They showed enormous enthusiasm to build a place for God to reside, a place for God to return to the Jewish people. This is an ultimate purpose. Stupid golden calf, stupid idols, stupid J.C. Penney's or other things that people have decided to make themselves into a false god, a false idol. This they couldn't stand. This absolutely they would not participate in. But for this they showed enormous enthusiasm, outdoing the men again. And therefore, the first portable holy temple that was built was dedicated on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, Rosh Chodesh, head of the month, beginning of the month, and therefore they were given this very, very beautiful and this very wonderful, wonderful holiday. Let me just take another couple of minutes, and then Reverend Yusko will continue. I want to take a special paragraph that's added into the Amida, which we've been studying on these Thursday nights, the different blessings. Last week we learned, just to review very quickly, there's a blessing about our livelihood. And if you just look at it literally, it looks like it's speaking about the produce, that the crops should grow properly so that we'll have what to eat. The animals that we eat, they depend upon vegetation as well. And we learned last week, to our amazement, that the very first thing there, Borei Cholenu Hashanah Hazos, blessed for us this year, is speaking about that monetarily businesses and various services for which a person makes their living, businesses should thrive this year too. We would never think that it has that praying has anything to do with Wall Street or the stock market or the success of somebody's business that they work at or the job that they work at. Number one, that was right there, that there has to be a blessing for a kosher, a proper business. What's a kosher business? Not just that it sells kosher food, no cheating, no false advertising. Don't make a call and say, my competitor is selling you such and such a product for this price. I'll give it to you for half that. Cheating. This is prevalent today. I am sorry to tell you, I was told this by a prominent businessman, no names mentioned at all, and not even the profession.
No.
Prominent businessman. He told me this is regular practice. You call up the other customers and encourage them to buy your product instead of what they've been doing. Stealing, this is utter cheating, faking, horrible thing. Kosher business means, and it's hard to make a kosher business. You're closed on the Shabbos. You're closed on the holidays and Yom Tov that we cannot work. You offer an honest product. You don't fake and all these tricks today that are used today to make something look attractive and very saleable, etc. Very attractive to buy. All these things they years ago too. Want to hear some funny ones? They're not funny because they're cheating too. An animal would be sold. Probably slaughtered already, a slaughtered animal, and they want to get a higher price for it. They pump air into it. You know what I said? They pump air into it to make it look fatter.
Right.
It would look like a fatter animal than it really was.
Exactly.
They would paint things with paint to make them look new, to make them look attractive. All fake. This is going back thousands of years. Nothing new. All the fakery was there then too. So this blessing, Baruch Aleinu, we ask God to bless our businesses, bless our job, bless our livelihood. And not just for crops, which we need so important, which are mentioned specifically also, but also all of the different things that you and I do for a living. Here's just a little bit of an additional paragraph that we add for Rosh Chodesh. It's also added on the holidays, the other holidays as well, but the fact that this is also an important holiday shows us Elokeinu v'Elokei Avosenu, our God and the God of our forefathers. This is inserted into the regular weekday Shemona Esrei and into the grace afternoons. Yalev made it come up. V'Yovel let it come. V'Yagia let it reach. V'Yira'el let it be seen. V'Yiratzel let it be desired. V'Yishma let it be heard. V'Yipoked let it be visited. V'Zacher should be remembered. What is going on? Look at all those verbs and say it again. Our God, the God of our fathers. May it go up. May it come. May it reach. May it be seen. May it be wanted. May it be heard. May it be visited. And maybe it should be mindful. Zechronenu ufigdonu. Our remembrance and our visitation. God, remember us. All these expressions that go up. The thought of us, the remembrance of us, all these words are used for that one purpose. The remembrance of us, God, remember us. And the remembrance of our forefathers, the remembrance of Mashiach ben David of Defa, the Messiah.
Amen.
Don't forget to send the Messiah, please. Zecher Yishalayim Irkut Shepherd. Amongst these things, may it go up, may it reach, may it come, etc. With these words, we have penetrated closer and closer to God Himself. You think of one sky, one heaven, right? You study science, you know there's very different levels of the sky, just different levels of the universe, etc. There are many spiritual heavens. We're asking God to pierce our remembrance. The thought of the Jewish people should pierce through not only this sky that we see, keep piercing through this holier heaven, holier heaven, holier heaven, holier heaven, holier heaven, and reach you yourself, Almighty God. Remember us, remember the Mashiach, remember Jerusalem. You know, I see people, Christians as well. I can't believe they say it. They always say, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And I'm Jewish. They're not Jewish. They're not Jewish. They live in this country. Many of them live in Israel. They're not Jewish. They're Christians.
Well, they could be lost Jews.
Say, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. The holiest place on earth and the most fought over place on earth. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. That's in here too. We say it. We say it in this prayer of Yellow. Pierce all the heavens and let our members come before you today. And right now, it's Rosh Chodesh today and tonight and tomorrow too. May it pierce all the heavens, and may you remember us, God, by saying us the truth.
And for those who don't know what Rosh Chodesh is, tell them what it is.
I did. You came in at the end. I did this fully at the beginning.
Yeah. Well,
The whole significance and where it's quoted in the Torah, where it's mentioned in the Torah, and how it's similar to Rosh Hashanah.
So it's my turn now?
Yes, it's your turn.
Okay, yes, your co-op. You did a great job. Great job, great job. Mine. Welcome everybody to part 2 of the class for today. What's going on with this crazy? Okay, here we go. Kimberly, welcome. Let me see who else is that. I can't see from here. Benson. Wow, Benson, you've been right on. I'm so glad to see you. And may the Almighty reward you for being there constantly. Husband, take your phone, please. No, I shut it off halfway down the road. Okay. Anyway, we have a couple of books we're going to study today. And the first and foremost is a rabbi who focused and dedicated his life to teaching the laws of speech, which is great because most people don't see in the Torah, in the scriptures, that there are laws of speech. Chafetz Chaim is his name. Artscroll.com is where you can buy these books if you're interested. And let's do a little bit of reading. So, in page 58 of the book called A Lesson a Day by Chafetz Chaim, subtitle is Character. It is forbidden to say that someone possesses a negative character trait. For example, it is forbidden to say that an individual is quick-tempered, argumentative, stingy, arrogant, etc. To say that someone is of bad character is forbidden, as it is a derogatory statement. However, to indicate that someone is of average character, for example, try Rebbitzin again, husband.
She's teaching.
No, that's not.
Last week I did it last week. She's teaching.
Okay. To say a person is of average character, while not complimentary, it also is not derogatory and may be permissible. In common situations where the term average has negative connotations, such as a statement would also constitute Lashon Hara, or what is commonly known in English as gossip. On the basis of the principle of negative statements discussed in Day 4, the claim that a person known for their piety is, in actuality, no better than average, and is certainly gossip or Lashon Hara. That is on the side of what's called Lashon Hara, which is gossip or derogatory speech. Now, on the other side of the page, it says Shmir Saloshin, which is, how could you translate that? Holy speech, right, husband?
Guarding the tongue.
Guarding the tongue.
Guarding the
Claims and counterclaims. Rabbi Yochanan ben Dahavi said, do not distance yourself from a quality that is without limit from a labor that is without end. To what can this be compared? To someone who took water from the ocean and cast it onto dry land. The ocean did not appear any less full, and the land did not become filled with water. The man grew frustrated that his employer said, "Foolish one, why are you upset? Each day you will receive a gold coin for your work." The quality to which the sage refers in Shmir Salashin or holy speech, that the evil inclination, the Yetzer Hara, or the evil side of a person, seeks to discourage a person from striving to develop this quality by way of following argument. What benefit will a person have from studying the laws and concepts of proper speech? Is a person not really capable of guarding their tongue all their life? Try to avoid speaking gossip by judging your thoughts for even a day or two, and do not really think that you can avoid everything that one is forbidden to speak. Why? Because a person of the world, a person has dealings with scores of different people. Don't even attempt to acquire this quality. It simply cannot be done. Guarding one's tongue requires constant vigilance and judgment of thought, and inner eyeballs, I call it. It is relevant countless times a day, every day a person's life, and it applies to virtually every situation that can occur between a person and their fellow or sister. Rabbi Yochanan ben Dahabi teaches us that this is simply not true. One should not disgrace themselves from the quality which indeed is without limit, as we shall explain. Okay. So that gave us a little taste of the importance of judgment of thought. How do we judge our thoughts? In and by our knowledge of the Torah, because it is by the Torah that we are able to know what is, I say kosher and not kosher, but another way is to say what is Toradic, right? What is biblical? Many ways to refer to the same idea. Okay? Let us go on now to another book that focuses on a lot of the laws of Torah. I'm not sure where I got this one, either Amazon online or I got it from Art Scroll. I'm not sure. It's called The Path of the Just. And it's written by Rabbi Moshe Chaim Lusato. And let's see here. The ISBN, if I can see it. Oh, yeah, here it is. ISBN 1-58330 728 1. Pocket hardcover. Okay, now let's do a little learning here. I think I'm going to end up going through this whole book every week a little bit because it's such a phenomenal book, it's worth learning the whole thing. Chapter 1 says, man or woman's whole duty in this world. The bedrock of piety and the root of flawlessness of divine service lies in a person's effort to clarify and verify what their whole duty is in this world. That person must determine what they're aiming for and how to achieve it in all their labors throughout their lifetime. The sages of blessed memory have instructed us that a person was created for the sole purpose of revealing the eternal and delighting in the splendor of the divine presence, the Shekhinah. This being the ultimate joy and the greatest of all pleasures in existence, the true place for their pleasures is the world to come, which was created with the purpose in mind. However, the path that helps us reach our desired objective in this world, as our sages of blessed memory have said in Pirkei Avos, or Ethics of the Fathers, chapter 4, Mishnah 16, this world resembles a corridor before the world to come. This means that leads a person to this goal are the mitzvot, which are the biblical commands that the Eternal may his name be blessed, Amen, our Creator, commanded us to observe. The place for doing the mitzvah is the world alone. Therefore, a person was first placed in this world, and through this means provided for them here, they will be able to reach the destination that has been prepared for them, the world to come, where that person will, through these means, as our sages of blessed memory have said about mitzvot, and that is in the Talmud in Eruvin 22a. You do them today and receive their reward tomorrow. If you delve further into this matter, you will realize that cleaving to the eternal alone is absolute perfection, as King David or David HaMelech said in the book of Psalms, Tehillim, chapter 73, verse 28, but as for me, closeness to the eternal is my good. And it is also said in the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 4, one thing have I asked of the eternal, that will I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Eternal all the days of my life. This alone is what is good. Anything else that is perceived by people to be good is only emptiness and deceptive worthlessness. For people to be entitled to this good, it is only appropriate that they first labor and make the efforts to acquire it. This means that a person must try to cleave to the Blessed One through deeds that will lead them to this goal. These deeds are the mitzvot, or the biblical commands. Yet the Holy One, blessed be He, has placed a person in circumstances where many factors can distance them from our Creator, and these being the bodily desires. For if a person is drawn towards them, they progressively distance themselves from the ultimate good. The result is that one really finds themselves planted in the midst of a fierce battle. For everything in this world, whether for good or bad, is there to test a person, whether it's poverty on the one hand and wealth on the other. This is similar to what King Solomon or Shlomo Melech said in the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 9. Lest I become sated, God forbid, and deny Almighty God, saying, Who is the Eternal? Lest I become, God forbid, impoverished, and steal, God forbid, and misuse the name of my Creator, Almighty God. Tranquility on the one side and suffering on the other, a person thereby finds themselves at war, both in front of them and in the rear. If a person is valiant and wins a total victory in this war, they will be perfected. They will have perfected themselves and will be able to cleave to their Creator. This person will then cleave to the corridor and enter the palace permeated with the glow of life. And to this degree that a person has conquered their evil inclination and desires and withdrawn themselves from those factors that distance them from what is good, and has striven to cleave to our Creator to the extent that we will attain His goal and find joy within it. If a person will delve deeper into the matter, they will note that the world was created to serve our Master, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He. However, and we do that by surrendering our free will unto His will, the Torah. The world itself stands in the balance. If a person is drawn towards this world and distance themselves from the Creator, they will be corrupted and will corrupt the world with them. Yet, if a person can rule over themselves, then that person cleaves to their Creator and uses this world solely as an aid for them in serving the Creator, and they will be elevated, and the world itself will be uplifted with them. as has become sanctified, blessed be his name. It is similar to what our sages of blessed memory said about the light that the Holy One, blessed be he, concealed for the righteous. In the Talmud in Kachiga 12a, and since the light saw that the Holy One, blessed be he, concealed it for the righteous, he rejoiced, as it says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 9, that the light of the righteous will rejoice. And regarding the stones, from the place that Yaakov Avinu, Yaakov our forefather, took and placed beneath his head, they said in the Talmud in Chulin 91b that Rabbi Yitzchak said that this teaches us that they gathered themselves into one spot, each one saying, "Let the righteous person rest their head upon me." It is with reference to this that our sages of blessed memory have commented in the Midrash Koheles, Koheles 7, uh, line 13, see the deeds of the Eternal. When the Holy One, blessed be he, created Adam, he took him on a tour of all the trees in the Garden of Eden and said to him, "See how beautiful and praiseworthy my deeds are, and all that I have created for you. Take heed not to corrupt and destroy my world." In summation, a person was not created for their position in this world, but rather for the position in the world to come. However, through their position in this world, they acquire their place in the world to come, this being the ultimate goal. Therefore, you will find many passages from the sages of blessed memory that speak of this same comparison of this world as the place and time for preparation, and the world to come as the place where one rests and consumes what has already been prepared, as they have stated. This world resembles the corridor, Pirkei Avos, or Ethics of the Fathers, chapter 4, Mishnah 16, as I have written above. You do them today and receive their reward tomorrow. And it's interesting because this past week was chapter 4 of Pirkei Avos that we were studying. And in Eruvin 22a of Talmud, he who toils on Erev Shabbos, or the eve of the Sabbath, will eat on the Sabbath. The Avodah Zarah 3a of Talmud. Thus, this world is likened to a dry land, and the world to come like an ocean. Koheles Rabbah, Mishnah Torah. And the passages on this theme abound. How much time do we have? Oh, we're there. Let me see who else came in. If I can get up and look. Looks like Judith. Welcome, Judith. Who else came? Let me see. Oh yeah. Ben Sion. Okay. Welcome, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the class today. We worked very hard on giving over what is most important for you to learn in order to have a good mega quality of life. And so May it be the will of the Eibishter that we all keep learning together. All these classes are recorded, so if you need to go back and hear something again, they all have day and date. Today's date, 26th, and today is Thursday. And today's class is called Halachah, or Biblical Laws. So, we thank you for coming in. We hope you enjoyed. And the next class will be on Sunday, New York time or Eastern Standard Time, will be at noon. If you live in a different location, please adjust the time to your time zone. That is New York time, noon to 2. And 1 hour for my husband and 1 hour for me. We will be teaching Chassidut or Chassidus. So, have a great Shabbos. Thanks for coming in. We wish you bracha, tzlacha, b'simcha, only goodness, now and forever. Amen, King Ratzon. Shalom, shalom. God bless you all. Okay, we